help us properly. No challenges there. One thing is, so before we, since we are starting a new course now, if there is any suggestion on how the previous course was taken, any good practices that you faced in other lectures that we could implement, so you can write to us, so that we can do that. Um, More or less that much on the previous thing. Uh, with us for the machine learning course, actually we have Mudita. I'll just introduce her to you guys. Mudita is a data scientist. She also did MA in economics from our department, and around 8 years she's been working in machine learning. These models, all these models, classification models, the decision making using ML. She's also in generative AI now, and great exciting work she's been doing. She started with finance. Finance is a domain, insurance, and worked with multiple clients. And now she's with a consultancy. So she's doing multi domain work now. So she what will help is that she being here, the applications of machine learning that are there in the private sector in the industry right now. So we can learn that most. So how we are planning to do it is that the technical side of it is something that Mudita will take care of, and some theoretical part, explanation, etc., is something I will pitch in. The one more thing that we thought, having two people, is that if there are any doubts, there may be a case that there are some challenges faced by some, since this is programming heavy kind of a course, a bit more than what we did previously. So if there are any doubts, any difficulties, we can do it real time. So I'll be able to give personalized help. You can just write in, and while the lecture is going on, I'll be able to help you guys. And if we feel that many of us have are facing issues, then we can also repeat those topics. थोड़ा सा ना governance better हो जाएगा if both of us are there, since we are not programmers. In हमारा कोर्स वैसा नहीं है. So that would, I think that would help there. So I think we should start. What we plan to do is to just begin with a small introduction before we dive into the programming part. Just let me know if my screen is visible. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's start with the introduction of machine learning. Uh, just 1 second, I need to admit. Yeah. All right. So what changes from the previous the R and econometrics that we did? We'll face we'll get to learn slightly more detailed programming. We are trying to do base R in our first part. Now we will use more efficient ways of coding. So that is something that Mudda will help us with. And I think that it is pretty straightforward. It's not difficult in the sense that you need to be worried about what is going to happen. We'll try to keep it simple, lesser on the as less technicalities as possible. What is the orientation of how what is expected out from the job market perspective, since Mudita has done the same route from MA economics to machine learning. So that is the overall approach that we are taking for this course. Starting with what machine learning is, simply put, we are trying to teach the computer how to learn patterns from data and make the predictions. And what we say is that it is without any explicit programming. So what we do is, for once we write a program, for once we tell the tell R how to, what to do, how, suppose we are running a regression, how to run a regression. So once we train it, and once the training is done, you add the data, and for the new data it will make predictions, it will find patterns, learn how to do that. So it will be a learning process. So once you train the model, and then the model takes care of it. Now, as you might expect, it doesn't end there, because you have to monitor whether the machine is working in the way we want. So there is a lot of evaluation that goes on the governance side, whether you need to make changes to it, what kind of changes we need to do with the model, etc. So there's a lot of things that happen in which are done by a machine learning engineer. So that is something we are going to do. How it differs machine learning from statistics, because that is where a lot of confusion comes. There are a lot of terms going on. We have data mining, we have data engineering, machine learning, AI engineer. So a lot of these concepts are going on. Largely, what happens, and this is more on the broader sense. Is that statistics focuses on inference. For example, in a development economic scenario, the question could be that, okay, there's a rural area which doesn't have good roads, and you say that if you provide cycles, okay, bicycles to children, girl children in school, what is the percentage increase in, likely percentage increase in their attendance? So that is a lot of such projects are going on. You can read uh, uh, the NBER journal, and you'll see a lot of these projects happening. So a few of those happening in India as well. Similarly, in the macro front, you can also say that, okay, if income increases by certain unit, what is the amount of consumption that increases? So you know that the coefficient on such a regression is called the marginal propensity to consume. है ना? And in such cases, you are not really interested in forecasting what the marginal propensity to consume would be in the next period. You are actually interested in what the MPC is today. है ना? So such kind of inferences are something that statistics has been doing, and there are various ways of doing. You assume the data generation process, and you say that, okay, the for a small sample, if it makes some you study and find out some patterns, they are applied to the entire country. So some the sampling that is done. Similarly, statistics is used for finding relationships between two variables, etc. So this is kind of an inferential approach that is done. Second is machine learning, which began with the same approach but then diverged a bit to move towards prediction, classification, generalization, etc. So वो क्या करता है? For example, loan लेना है, right? Loan लेना है. You have a lot of information about the person who is an applicant of a loan, and you say that, okay, based on that information, what is the probability of the person to default? If it is very high, then you deny the loan. This is a very cliched example, but there are many more. For example, if a mail comes, you should be able to classify a mail whether it is a spam or not. Or there is a diagnosis. You diagnose some illness, and you try to find out what the reason is. Or even Justice Chandrachud, who just retired, the Supreme Court Chief Justice, what he said is that based on the complainant's description, you should be able to club various cases so that we can streamline the justice process. That is something that again, an ML algorithm can help in, right? Can you see the slides going ahead, because I think there is some issue here. Can you see the next slides that I'm showing?
No, sir.
You can't ना, वही मुझे लग रहा था कुछ गड़बड़ है. एक second. Let me reshare this. some issue here. Is it visible now? Can you see what is ML wala slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, why does ML really matter to us? The reason is that earlier there was a fairly good yeah, fairly good division between what a statistician, mathematician, some economist would do, and what a computer science person would do. And that is something that is converging over time, and requirements are really of all requirements are there for the same role. So since data is available more, database decision making is there, the jobs are coming up, such as machine learning engineer, data scientist, etc. So this the data science team has been is very important integral part of any company. Now, when I say that increased availability of data and database decision making, with personal experience, I can say that still there are people who do not there's some lag in acceptance of this new technology. For example, they'll sit in a chair, and I'll give this as a personal anecdote that does happen, is that if you want to forecast, say, inflation or a GDP for next time period, everyone will sit on a table and say that, acha, you want to forecast GDP, तो बोलेंगे क्या, तो gross fixed capital formation, that is the investment कितना बढ़ा, consumption कितना बढ़ा, अरे ये ऐसा था, then corporate returns are saying this that they'll say, अच्छा क्या लगता है कितना होगा, अरे 6.5% होगा, then others say, अरे 6.5 is too much, 6.3 ही होगा. Don't you see, what the RBI is saying, and what IMF is saying, and what WEO is saying, etc. So this is something which is not a very systematic way of forecasting, though they call it fundamentals based forecasting. ये सबको they call fundamentals, and a lot of times they do get it right. I mean, I'm not saying that they get it wrong, but now increasingly what people are asking for is for a systematic way of doing the same thing. So the same GFCF, the same consumption, the private consumption, government consumption, same variables will go through a model, so that the model can give a systematic way of forecasting GDP or inflation or all these macro variables. And while I say this for a kind of a macro economy, this is the same thing applies for a micro economy. If you want to explain how people behave, how businesses behave, etc. So you have a systematic way of doing it, and that is something the statistics has been doing. And with an increased computational capability, the machine learning is able to compute large sets of data, and kind of scan through all the information, give insights that are relevant for the business. So this is where it becomes important, and that is why we also have a economics, in economics we have a course for machine learning. We do have a good scope of this. Now again, an important point is that where we do differ from computer science or a engineer background is where the application comes. Economists, especially the roles that you would apply eventually after this course, they want a mix of the economic theory and these algorithms. You can't say that, acha, mera na coefficient itna aaya, so this is a sacrosanct number. Usually, as an economics graduate, you are expected to weigh economic theory more than the coefficient that come out of a model, and that is where minute differences come between what a computer science engineer uska kya expectation hai, what an economics expectation is. But what remains constant is the models increasingly nowadays. Now, where these two would differ, I told you inference and prediction largely, but then the data requirements is quite interesting. For example, statistics may we use numeric data. We use non-numeric as categorical. We have the various techniques of extracting information. But in machine learning now, increasingly you can use diverse sets of data. You can use you can image, video, all of those kind of non-structured kind of data sets, and make prediction based on that also. Next is something that we spoke of earlier, there are assumptions on the data generation process. There are assumptions on the distribution of the sample data, on the population data, etc. While machine learning really doesn't put any such assumptions, so it is more flexible as compared to the statistics that we use, and we'll see how that happens. But on the negative side, interpretation is very easy in statistics. Machine learning often becomes a black box. तो आपको पता नहीं कि अंदर computation हो क्या रहा है, and you will see a lot of these people who use algorithms, but they don't really understand what is actually happening inside the algorithm. So eventually, you must kind of go into the models and try to understand what is happening in an intuitive sense, even if the mathematics of it might not be clear because it's that complex. You need to understand. So this black box kind of a thing actually makes businesses very concerned about whether the regarding the veracity of the results. But now the acceptance is increasing as the success rate has been high. So what you do is essentially automate repetitive tasks, you handle large data, recommendation systems, accurate forecasting. So forecasting is really accurate when you use machine learning techniques, and we'll see the random forests and how the classifications becomes better off than what a logistic regression does. And it's wide application, so it's across various domains is what is a important part of machine learning. Okay, so coming to how this is applied, and we'll start with part one today. uh, is the step one is a very big step, gathering data to find out what all what all sources of data are available to you, to clean that data, etc. So this first part, the planning part, is extremely excruciating, extremely important. Okay, so that is something we do quite a bit in any project. And then you have to do a initial data analysis. So you try to understand how the variables are. In this step three, you actually find out whether there are any missing values, are there any extreme values, etc. Any concerning things that are there in the data is something you find in step two and step three. Then once you say that, okay, we have a project, initial data analysis shows that, okay, this is pretty doable. You move to a detailed kind of an exploration, and try to find out how each variable is moving with each other, etc. And then you go on to the building of the model. Building of the model, maybe Mudita will differ with me. My experience has been that it is the smallest uh, step among others. You build a model. Building the model is not the biggest one, but analysis, gathering data, analysis, etc., becomes the bigger one. And once the model is built, the next step is again the big one, to check whether the model is really makes sense or not. And if it does not, then what to do? You have to shift back to building the model again if the model is bad, or you have to go back to gathering data, looking at some aspect that is missing, and you need to collect again and do the whole process again. So it is kind of an iterative thing. There are large feedback loops, there are short feedback loops, and you have to kind of go circular in this. So this is the way we will also structure our sessions, where we'll start with gathering data, do initial analysis, build a model, then evaluate the model. Now once you evaluate the model, you say, okay, मेरा prediction model तैयार हो गया. I want to do a 3-month prediction, 5-month prediction, etc. And you keep on doing such predictions every month, तीन महीने का. But you come to a point where you say that, okay, now the same model is no longer able to forecast the same thing in a in an efficient way, in which case you have to retune the model. So you have to again go back, build a model again, and then do step 5, 6, 7, 8 again. So that is why it is not it is an iterative thing. It requires continuous monitoring and implementation as per your observations. In this slide, I just largely put what is done in each. We'll just share this slide also with you guys, so that you see what is done in each phase. Planning is again whatever data source, gathering data, etc. I'll just add if there's anything missed. Hmm, algorithm build feedback, ठीक है. We spoke of refining or retuning model. Evaluation is essentially where you try to find out whether there is anything, you know, if there are large errors. We spoke of in the last session, that is previous paper, that we make two groups of data. One is the training data and one is the testing data, right? So evaluation is essentially to implement that training wala model into the testing wala data and see whether the forecast and the reality differs too much. And we had tried one small example last time. We'll do it more this time. But you try to find out whether there are large errors in what is being forecasted and what is the reality. And if the errors are really large, then that model is really scrapped. So you have to scrap that model. You have to build a model again. So this evaluation keeps happening very often. Like every time you give an output, you have to evaluate it. That is something we'll be doing. Uh, yeah, the structured and unstructured also I spoke of. We can jump towards to the programming part. Before that, just one thing, and I would like special attention on this, is now the language is going to change. Language as in the same thing, that same variable, concept that we used to call as a dependent variable, now will be called a feature. Okay, variable that will explain the dependent variable is the feature, and the target variable is the y variable, which is the dependent. So independents are features, dependent is the target. Okay, so you'll now increasingly listen to this language rather than the earlier statistics language that we did in the last course. Second is training data. We did do this last time, right? And then model, you know what a model is, and then evaluation. So the evaluation is again something that we spoke of last time. We had some debate about r square and everything, but root mean square errors, the MAPE, that is the mean absolute squared error, etc. So these all metrics are used for evaluation of a model. Okay, so this is largely the basics of what we are going to do. Moving on now, I'll give the control to Mudita. She will. What we will do today is to clean data, the exploratory data analysis, and what is called as a feature creation. Matlab to create variables. So there's some overlap between what we are going to do now, and what we did last time, so that we set the foundation blocks and move towards the machine learning part. Any questions, suggestions? We can take those, or we can. Any questions? No. Okay. Rita?
Okay, yes, thank you so much, Kedar. I hope I'm properly audible and not there is no echo and background noise, right? Uh, okay, let me share my screen. And when I am doing that, I would, want you guys as well to open your R Studios and do exactly, what I'm doing. If there are any doubts, any step that you think is not clear, then you can just directly ask me, or put it in the chat as well. We will solve them. Kedar is also here, so he would also reply in chats if I am missing any. And today we'll be starting very slow. We will be taking out the few steps or the few things that we had done earlier. We'll be starting with that, and we'll slowly gradually pace up the course. Okay, so I hope everyone is having their art studio, and give reactions so that I would know that you guys are there, because even I will be typing out in my screen. I won't be on the the call window. Okay, so do you have art studios open? Okay, great. So first thing that we need to do is to install few packages. To install the packages, we usually use the command install dot packages. Okay, we'll be using data.table. This is the package that is used for understanding and manipulating data sets, creating features in a more better way and in a efficient and a faster way. We also have few scenarios wherein we use it in from the base package, which you must have done it in the previous course, but this is a new package and that is used for a efficient data handling, because we will be handling the big data sets now onwards. Okay, so just install this package, and we want to install two more packages, which are lubridate and read excel. I hope the font size is okay for you guys to look at. Okay. So Lubridate is package which is used for handling, date items, wherein whatever date variables what we have, we want to create those dates, minutes, in hours, in seconds. If we want to create like years out of it, change the date formats, as a YYYMMDD, that is four year entirely mentioned in four digits, then as in like month represented in two digits, and DD, that is date represented in next two digits. So there are like a different formats of representing data. All those dates handling can be done with this package. Okay, and the third package is read excel, which is to just read excel and to read the data. So everyone should download these three, and when once you are done, just give me thumbs up. Okay. I can see only few people have reacted. What happened to others?
Just one question I forgot to ask. Everyone is on laptop or is anyone on phone? I mean, just to ask so that if you have laptops available with you, it would be good if you type out these things. थोड़ा practice हो जाएगा फिर. So
बस
I'm
4-5 जन ने ही डाउनलोड किया है पैकेज. Okay. Once you have downloaded the packages, obviously we will need to load those. To load these package, we use something called as library. Okay, so library function is used to call that library which we have already installed. If you have any library which is not installed with you and you do you execute this command, you will get an error saying that this library is not available. Okay, so now just install these three, and meanwhile we will share the data set that we want to work with. Are we all on the same page? Okay, great. Okay, Kedar will be sending you the data. केदार ईमेल करता है का?
हाँ, I've shared it on the group also, sending it on the email also because I see more people today.
Okay.
Maybe some. I'll send it on email.
Get the data, download it, and keep it in one folder. The folder for which you know the path of, because we want to read that data and work on that data. Those who have received the data can load it. You can use read underscore excel, which is a command from read excel package that we have downloaded. We open the bracket and give entire path. Okay, for me directly it is coming the excel name because I have saved it in that manner. But for you, if it is your directory is long, let's say C, then usme kuch desktop, some folder name, and then file name, then do it accordingly. Okay, and the first command that we see as.data.table, that is a command from data.table, which we are using this excel. When the excel is read by the R, we are using that command to convert it into data table. Okay, so I'm not going into much technical differences, but when we use the base package and if we just use read underscore excel and read the data, it would consider as a data frame, versus when we are making it convert to data.table, it will use data.table, or it will be in a table format for further processes. And why we do it is because data frame is not the most efficient way to handle the data sets. Today, what data what we have is not that large. Data is around 2000 rows, but when you will be dealing with real life examples, the data might be going to lakhs as well. Okay, so that time it makes a difference if we are working with data frame or data table. So have you received the data and have you read it? Guys, if you don't speak up, I really won't know what is happening.
So everyone has the data now. Forum,
Yes, sir.
Rachel, yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah.
What about others? Should I take names or then only you would reply?
No, no, I think we can go ahead. I'm sure they must be doing it.
Okay, okay. Okay, once we have loaded the data, once it is successful, on the right hand side, you would see that data in loaded in the environment. Okay, I hope the basics of R Studio are clear, as in what is the script level where we look at the results and everything. If not, I'll just reiterate. Here we on this left upper side, we have the space to create scripts. This plus icon helps you add the scripts in the environment. Then the downside where we see console, there we see all the exec commands that we have executed. So whatever we run here, all the outputs that we see in this part. The right upside is the environment. We'll just concentrate on the environment, not on the other. Is the part wherein you will see all the objects. When I say objects, it can be file, it can be data frame, it can be some functions that we have written. All those are present or will be available over here for us to see. And in the right downside, we can see the files. Files are read from the directory that you have set in. Might be too technical, but we won't be using that anyways much. Plots is the one where we will be able to see any graphical representations that we'll be conducting or that we will be doing. Those won't be available in this console part, will be available in the plots. Packages is the list of the packages that are available, and wherever you see this tick icon, that means you have installed that package in your system. Help is something, if you have any doubt, then you can search whatever topics that are available. You will get the list and link, browser link that you would get. Rest, I guess we won't be anyways using. So that was just the basics of it. Now once we have loaded the data, what we would do is to look at the data. So to see the data, there are two commands. One is head. What head does is it will show just the top 5 rows. Okay, top few rows actually. We can mention as well how many rows that we want to see by doing comma and the number. We If we want to look at some rows from the lower section, then we use tell. And there is something called as view, wherein v is capital. And if we give the name of the data set, we can view the entire data set. Okay, till now everyone is with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
great. Okay, we also can see there are 2500 rows. That's it. That is observations. What R says, and there are 13 variables in here, present in here. All of those we can see by the view command. I hope you are running that with me also. And if there are any errors you are getting, just put those error in the chat. We'll be able to help you out. Okay. The this I'll initially tell you what are these variables, individual columns that you have. Then I want you to tell me few things about it. Okay. So first is date of birth. We from the sole column we come to know that it is like a date column. It is present in a date format. As I earlier mentioned, the date format is YYY-MM-DD. Okay, it is technical jargon, but it is how people speak. So from this column we know कि किसी का तो birth dates का list है. Okay. Second column is loan date. Here also we come to know that it is a date column again in a similar format, and loan date we think that it might be loan start date जब loan लिया होगा. How do we connect these two? जिस इंसान का बर्थडे इस दिन पे आता है उस इंसान ने इस दिन पे लोन लिया था. Okay, simply we haven't seen next columns. Then state variable we have seen. In the state variable we see that these are in camel cases. What do I mean by that is first letter of every variable is in uppercase. It's not all upper cases, it's not all lower cases. And we do see there are states from US region. Then there is income. Income we do see in some digits we see in digit format. Okay. Then there is channel variable. I mean, I know the data that's why I'm saying this, but channel variable is the column that suggests by what method that person has come to the system. There is a gender of a person, male, female, standard. Again, in camel case, this is important. This will be helpful later on because R is case sensitive. So when you are typing out something in all capital and all small, it does not necessarily match. It doesn't understand that those two, even the same words, one's all capital and one is all small. Those are not same for R. So we can see that these are all in camel letters. Again, there is some loan amount, self-explanatory. EMI amount, what is the EMI that a person is paying, occupation of that amount, education, we do see some missings, that is NA over here. There is household income. There is also income and there is also household income. Must be something different. And self-explanatory, that household income is family income in this case. Loan defaulters, no and yes, we can see from prima facie. And then there is a client ID, which looks like that is unique client ID. Okay, so this data is at a client level of a bank, wherein all the people who have taken the loan till now, we have the data of those clients saying that if it is a defaulter or not, and there are few variables or the details that are available with us for that client. Okay, so now you guys can tell me, you view the data and tell me what is likely to be the model that we can build from this data. Any answer is fine. Okay, there is no perfect answer. How we look at the data is matters. So and to see how creatively you guys can see this data. If you guys are shy to speak, just put it in chat. And there in chat option there is also an option to just send the message to Kedar. You can do that as well.
So, we first, I think we can ask, which do you think is the dependent variable? Which is
Yeah,
the
we can start with it.
y variable कौन सा है?
Sir, can it be the loan defaulter?
Yes.
Loan.
Yes, Gaurav, can you repeat once? Gaurav, your voice cut a bit, so you can repeat once.
Sir, loan amount can be y variable,
Loan amount can be y
and
variable.
income and household income can be x. Yes, sir.
Correct. Bilkul correct.
Okay.
Yes. Can be. Anyone else?
And
Kuchel.
income and household income can be x variable.
Income and household. Ah, yes, it can. Yes.
Yes.
Anyone else? Ria. How is Ria so silent today?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
Uh, I do think the loan amount can be independent or defaulters, but
Okay. Okay. ठीक है. Yeah. That's.
Anyone else
Hmm.
have a different opinion? Sania?
Um, Ma'am, even I will go with loan amount and being the dependent and uh, household and income being the independent variables.
Okay, okay. Okay, so there's those were very interesting answers. But when we look at the flow and therein bit of uh, sorry, is there any background noise coming? Just give me a minute.
Not really. It is fine.
Okay, okay. Sorry, there is some function in my building, so there is some noise. Okay. Yeah. So where we? Yes. So when we look at these data sets, from a domain perspective, that is when, let's say we are working for a bank or we are, in a bank, and we want to understand, and we are maybe, let's say, responsible for issuing the loans, and there is one team who is risk control unit team that we have mostly in insurances and in banks. They are saying that अपना defaulters list जो है वो बहुत बढ़ते जा रहा है, this is not right, we need to cut down on the risky customers. Okay, so as an analytics team, we can build a model at the time of application. So when the customer is applying for a loan, we can say that whether that customer is likely to be a defaulter or not. Okay, so to do that, what we do is we get all the historical loans that we have issued till now, with one important variable, that is a flag variable, which is loan defaulter, which says yes or no. Okay, so this comes from the all the answers that other answers that were given can also be true, but when we are looking it from application perspective, it is how it will be applied. So our target variable will be loan defaulter, saying yes and no, and the rest are the details of those clients. Okay. Then now we know what we are going to do with this data. We need to see how those columns are getting read in the in RStudio. So if we do str, which is a function to check what is the structure or what type of variable is each variable. So if you guys also run this, you will get the list of the columns here. First, it is saying classes data.table and data.frame. So as I mentioned, first it was data frame, and which we have converted to data.table. So it can act as both, but we will be using it as a data table. Okay, it is having 2500 observations and 13 variables. So whatever you see over here is also mentioned over here as well. Then there are column names in the same order that we can see it in the data when we view the data. Okay, so date of birth, which is mentioned in character format. Okay, loan date, again character format. Only loan amount, EMI amount, it is present in numerical, how we would want. Also income is in numerical format, and household income is in numerical format. That's how we would want to have those. So now we want to play with this date of birth variable. So from the date of birth variable, what we can we can know, we can calculate the age of the person. Okay, age of the person as of today. So to calculate that, we first need to tell R that this variable is not a character. This variable is supposed to be read as date. Okay. So you guys must have converted earlier and used this converter, which is as dot date. Okay. You guys are familiar with this? Thumbs up, please.
No, we are not.
Okay. So I will explain. So as.date is the command which is used to convert something to the to date format. Okay. So how we read this code is, we are dealing with loan data. Dollar represents, and in the loan data we want to call the variable date of birth. We are assigning that variable as a date, we want to convert that into date, and we again give this format because we are converting that date column and keeping it in the same name. There is, if we want to change this name to date of birth, and we want to make it something like date of birth underscore 1, we would write it like this. Okay, so this part tells about after conversion how we want to store, and this part tells about what column we need to convert. Right now we will keep it in same format. So this as dot date is function that is used in base for base package. Okay, there is one more way to do that, and that is more professional way, using as data dot table is this. Okay, it might look complicated, but just guys, come to this window, my window, and just look at what I'm saying. Okay, I'll be highlighting the parts. So loan data, we know we want to look at something in the loan data, which is our variable in the environment. Okay, we are opening the box brackets. First column first arrow says that we want to change something in column. Okay, then we are giving the name by which we want to add the column. Okay, so as we have done earlier over here, this is something, the column name which we want to give. This is the same way how it goes. Okay, we will just give the column, not the dollar and loan data part. There will be colon and there will be equal to. This means that we are assigning this column as a date, and again the column name which we want to convert. Okay, similar functions, but second way is more professional, and it is faster way to deal with dates. Clear? Is there any doubts? Are there any doubts? If you guys are okay, just give me thumbs up or just say something. because it's I'm not able to understand
Okay,
from anything. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, then let's convert, all the other dates as well. What we have. So next we won't be using this, huh? We will be using this only. Okay. So the other date which we want to convert is, loan date. Okay. I hope everyone is with me. Okay, now we have seen, what is the structure of the data structure when I say, whether it is categorical column, numerical column, or in a date format. We would, we want to, see the details, okay, of, each column. So what is like a direct way to do is to use this way, function called as summary that will give us the details of all the 13 columns wherever it is sorry, I have not executed the date commands. Wherever it is a character, the class and mode both will be character for the date variables, and for the numerical variables it will give us, some useful information. Okay. So how do we read is for the date of birth column, we have a minimum date something, first quarter, median, that is second quarter, what is the mean date, what is third quarter, and what is the maximum date, that is what is the latest date. Same way we would have it, for the numerical columns as well. What is the minimum, what is the, first quarter, second quarter, what is the mean, third quarter, and what is the maximum. It run the same thing in your computer as well. Someone has sent something. You are getting an error. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, let me. So you'll need to mention the date, format. It can happen. Let
I think she's using the single quote character rather than the other one that needs to be used.
yeah, that's also true. Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
yeah. Also, this. Yeah, use the other. Not this, but one which is below the escape or side to one numeric. टैब के ऊपर एक कैरेक्टर होगा.
Prerna and Isha, just try it once and
I
tell us,
did
no?
try. It worked. It worked.
It
It
worked, na?
was just that.
Okay. Hmm.
Okay, great. Run summary and get
Yeah, it
these.
worked for me also.
Okay, great. Okay, so if we want to, let's say, and just, for our understanding, if we want to have to see the summary of just one variable, we would use something like this. Okay, so variable name, dollar, sorry, data name, dollar, and then the variable name. So the standard rule is to, if in the column names there is a space available, we would use that, tilde character, which is this character. Okay. Otherwise, we can use the name as it is. So if you see for income, it is as it is. If there is a space in household and income, we are using that tilde. And by this method, again, you will be able to see the character, and you will be able to see the specifics of details of that variable. Okay, so then let's say we for the character categorical variable, how we look at it is we mainly look at the frequencies of these variables. So to look at the frequencies, we would use the function called as table. Okay. What we are here saying is, again, we are giving the data name dollar and the specific column name, and we are saying this exclude equal to null. What it says is, if there are any blanks that are available in the data, we don't want to exclude those. We need to see those variables in the output as well. So if I run this, there is, so let me run one variable which I know has a missing values, and you'll come to know the difference. So I'm running command for occupation. Here we see that there are occupations that are mentioned. How we read this output is business value has 459 occurrences. Okay. Doctor has 247, and so on. But we don't know if there are any blanks or not. And when we had looked into the data earlier, we had seen that there were some NAs. Okay. But those are not getting counted right now. But when we do the exclude, sorry, when we add this argument, we get that there are some NAs that are available whose count is 101. And this is very crucial but easily missed out step, that we don't include this argument. We just looked at data, wow, there are no missings. Usually, I mean, if the missings are very large and we come to know by the sum of the rest, we can say that there are large missings. But otherwise, we would think that iska total will be kind of similar to 2500, and we really miss out on this. We wouldn't want to do that. So we are giving this command. Okay. And we'll come to all the details also of it, but I want to get you to get familiar with these simpler commands. So we can do it for state, we can do it for channel as well. And from the state and the channel, we know that there is no NA coming up, there is no blank and value that is coming up, so we know that there are no missing values involved. Okay, everyone with me till now? If yes, then there is a small exercise for you guys. Okay. What we'll share one more data with you. What I want you to do is start a new script. Okay, load that data in the new script. Do it in the new script. Why I'm saying, because we will be coming back to this loan data again in some time. But I want you to practice these things and understand what is happening, and there will be few questions which you need to find the answers to from the data. Okay. So Kedar again will share one data set with you. Just go through the data set, how we have how we did it. Tell me what can be the target variable, and what can be the independent variables. What are the numerical variables that you have to convert, what are the date variables, and the highest frequency of all the categorical columns. Okay. I'll paste the questions here in the chat for you to go through. Meanwhile, Kedar will share the data. Yeah.
It's shared. Huh?
Okay, great.
Gaurav was asking, can you show the code for loan date again? So for now, you can just keep it on screen. Gaurav, do you want explanation or do you want to see it so that you can copy it once? I think he just wants to write it down.
Okay, I'm keeping everything, on my screen.
So were you able to download the data? Just tell me if you received it. I've sent on both
Yes, sir.
media. Okay, so if anyone can just tell us what the data is. The first question we asked for the previous data set also was, what do you think is the y variable? Yes, so Mudita has pasted the questions on the chat. Just see whether I can pin it. Mudita, I think you need to pin it. I cannot pin it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, did. Pinned it. If you have doubts again, errors, error messages, if anything, just put it over here.
So, any opinion about the target variable?
It can be the movie watched in theater. Like based on the features, they can predict that how many people are watching movie in theaters or not. For
Okay.
instance, there is a variable called Netflix subscription. So if they do have Netflix subscription, are they watching movies in theater or not? Are they preferring to watch there or not? That might.
Very, very fair. Yes, fair. Any other opinions? Any other thoughts? Today, rhythm is also very silent. I don't know why. Vijay Lakshmi is silent. She usually has some thoughts to put forth.
Is there any other variable that can be treated as a target?
Okay, no problem. So the second question is about whether there can be any new variable or a feature that you can create basis the data that is given. Some data is given to you. Can you create any more sensible data that can go in the model?
So to give you the hint, we saw the date of birth variable, right? From which I mentioned we can create a feature called as customer age by using the today's date, current date, and the date of birth. So age till date. So that one variable that we are creating, or that is the one feature that we are creating from the data. So in the other movie data set, do you find any such variables that can be created?
Ma'am, again, there is date of birth there also, but at the same time, there is something called subscription date. So, on the basis of that, we can know that for how many years they have subscribed to OTT platform, and as compared to that, are there instances of going to theaters have increased or decreased for
Very
so
good.
many years?
Mm. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. I hope you guys are, doing these things in R. Okay. Does anyone want to share their screen and show the data that is loaded? Anyone wants to volunteer?
Ma'am, I can. Yeah.
Sure, great. Go ahead. Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. Okay, so yes, we can see your screen. We have looked at the basic data sets, right? What are the columns? I hope those are self-explanatory columns by the column names. And as discussed earlier, yes, purpose and one of the models that we can build is about the whether they have watched a movie in the theater or not. Okay, and the rest, the other column or the other data points we can use to create the features. Okay, now we need to see how the date of birth and subscription start date are looking. So something like to see if there are any abnormalities. Now with the domain expertise or with the domain knowledge or the common knowledge, we know that these subscriptions won't have some date from the 90s, right? If there we see that one date which is of 1995, we can say that this is a normality, because from the knowledge that we know, it is very recent, so the subscription start date should also be very recent. Also something like date cannot be from the future. Same goes for the date of birth. Okay, date cannot be from the future, we know it from the basic sense. So for that we'll need to check how the range is happening, so we can use the summary um, uh, summary variable. Forum, your screen is not up. Have you worked on that? Did you write some summary and created summaries of all the
No,
columns?
no, ma'am. No, I haven't done that. No.
Okay. Anyone else who has done it? Or just take 2 minutes to convert those to date formats and get the summary of these dates and the other numerical variables.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah.
I am repeating myself, but if there are any doubts, any errors that you're getting, just paste them or just speak up. So, what is the minimum date in subscription column? Sharad, have you used those tilde like symbols to represent the date? Can you
Yeah,
give
so
me the command that
for the subscription date, it's fine, but the date of birth is complaining about.
Okay, can you just share me your screen?
Yeah, cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's up. Okay. Can you just do a view or like a view on that one subscription date or the column that is date of birth is not giving right results, right?
Date of birth is giving me error. Subscription date is converting to date.
Okay. So here, first exercise that we had done is to look at what is the date format, right? The earlier data that we had, that had like first year, then dash, then 2 months, and 2 digits for months, and then 2 digits for dates, right? Here in the data, can you go back to the data?
Sorry.
Yeah. Here we see that the first is month. Okay, that month is also not in uh, like a 2 digit format. Then there is date, and then there is year. So for that we need to give the format that is present, because it is not able to understand by from what format we need to convert. Okay, just give me a minute. So was this thing done in previous hour? I mean, it's very
No.
tough for
No.
basics.
No, we've not covered that.
Okay, let me type out the code for that. Okay, just give me. And stop your screen share as well.
I could also see something funny in the subscription start date. Is the date supposed to be like this? Saying
No,
00?
no. For that also you would need to give the proper format, because it is not able to understand कौन से format में है ये date.
Okay.
Okay. I am typing out the code. So you can. I don't have the variable names with me right now. So you can add something like comma format. Okay, I have pasted it in the chat, and a format like this. Okay, how we read this is, it is all written in double inverted commas. $M means there is some format. First is month that we have. Month, when the M is small, it says only 1 digit of month is present. So if the month is February, it's not showing 02, it is just showing 2. Then there is a slash. Earlier we had dash, right? Now it is slash. Again a
And please
person.
could you share your screen, please?
I have shared that in chat. Okay, let me share
Oh,
my screen.
so is it to be passed, put in as a parameter to the as
Yes,
date thing, or?
yes. I will show. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Just do it for your date. I don't have that date, loaded, or that data set loaded in my. I have started screen share. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. Just look at this format. This part. Okay. After as dot date, put comma and put this line, and just first understand what is the meaning of it. Okay. So we are writing some format in double inverted commas. We are saying %m, so it has to read, in special character. The m is not representing the m. M is representing a month, right? So for program to understand, we have to put first %. So what small m is denoting is that there is only 1 digit of month is present. That means if the month is February, it is not showing 02, it is showing just 2. Okay, and you can confirm that in data. Then there is slash in the data. Then there is date. again date is in small d. That means if the date is 2, we are not showing 02, it will be shown as 2 itself. Then there is again slash, and we have y. Now the letter y is in capital because for the year we are showing all 4 digits. If the digit, like the subscription date is from 24, we are not just showing 24, we will be showing 2024. That's why the letter is in capital. Okay, and you should, ideally remember this, very logical. Now just don't use loan date and just don't use this blindly. Your column name will be different, but this is the syntax how you could use it. Okay.
How do we see the help documentation that would explain this if we get lost for the
Help.
as date?
You just ask in help date formats. And if you just Google also, you'll get many links to help you.
So it's not specific to the as dot date function. It's generic
No.
across our.
Yeah, it is across R. I would say even in within other languages also this jargon would be similar. So could you convert that to date?
Yeah.
Can you do the similar way for the subscription start date as well? Because that has some different format, right? Your date was not coming correctly after conversion.
Okay. So why?
Our others are on track as well.
Ma'am, after putting the format, the date of birth happened, but the
Yes.
mine subscription data is still the same format. Like, it's weird.
Okay, the original subscription format that you have, read the data again because you must have got converted that, right? Without error. So read the data
Yes.
again and then look at what was the original subscription format, and then you might need to change, actually. No, then run that line again.
Oh, oh.
Okay, till now.
Yes, ma'am, it worked.
Great, great. Okay, so do we know the answer of what is the minimum rate and what is the maximum rate? Yes, Sharad.
Sorry, what was the question?
Could you get the summary of that date variable?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the minimum date?
19th Jan. Oh, I can't read the format. 1960 Jan 2.
You can't read the format.
No, sorry, I was not sure which was the month or the date from the summary. So it's 1960-0102. I'm guessing Jan 2.
Okay. So now when you have converted, it must have come to the YYYMMDD format, right?
TDL. No, it's MMD. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
So this
Yes.
is the like a basic, how R behaves. Okay. After conversion, it would come to this format only. Okay. YYYMMDD.
So that's irrespective of the language that's on the computer, right? It's always, this is the canonical format for R.
This is specific to R. After
Okay.
conversion, it would come here. You can mention as well, after format also, if you want to convert it to, specific date, then you can also say how you want to convert. We are not going to that details right now, but yeah, you can do that. By default, it does too. Okay, anyone else can tell me for subscription start date? What is the minimum and what is the maximum?
It's 1st January 2050.
Can you see if there is any abnormality that is coming up? What we have spoken about.
No, ma'am, it's 2015. It's showing minimum is 1st January 2015,
Hmm.
and the max is 2023, 31st December 2023.
Great, great. And for the date of birth column,
Yeah, the maximum is 2005, 19 December 2005. And the minimum, like Sharad said, it's 2nd January 1960.
right? Okay, that seems fair, right? We don't see anything from 800 something, right? Okay, yeah, Sania.
Ma'am, I'm still getting errors in both the codes.
Okay, can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Others who have completed this part, just now go recognize what are the categorical variables and get their frequencies of all the variables and paste it in the chat. For getting the frequency, we use table. Okay. So when you have read the CSV, right, you have
Yeah.
not converted that to data.table. So
Okay.
yeah, so just convert that to data.table using as dot
Okay. Okay.
data.table before read.csv and then run that again, because these formats, right, how we are doing it, it will be able to convert it. It will be able to look at that code only when the data given is in table. If it is in
Okay.
frame, it won't understand.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. So I have reshared my screen. For categorical variables, we use table. I hope all are, come to this categorical part. Okay, can anyone tell me what is the mode for occupation? Guys, we have a lot to cover here. Anyone? What is the highest frequency value in occupation?
Gaurav wants to share his.
Okay, go ahead.
Gaurav, you can share your screen.
Let's stop screen share. Can everyone else be on mute, please? Yes. Gaurav, same, error. When you have read the data, right, you have not given the command to convert it to table. The jargon or the format that we are using for the date conversion will only be possible when data is in table format. So use as dot data dot table to convert it to table. How we have done it in while reading the first file. As dot data dot table. No, 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 not like that. Do you have the line wherein we have how we have read the data? Can
Actually, Gaurav, you're on mute, so you can unmute yourself.
actually, I don't. Sonia, work for you? Meanwhile, you can just say yes or no.
Yeah, it worked for me.
So, ma'am, here instead of read Excel, he could do read CSV since the file is in CSV.
Yes. Read.csv.
Gaurav,
Yes,
uh,
sir.
tell me one thing. So, what is different in this line than what you had typed earlier? Can you see and tell us? You had also written one line to read the data, right? And it was working also. It was correct. There was no mistake over there. What is the change over here?
Sir, we used as.data.table.
Yes. And how did we use it? We inside first, if you look at the inside bracket, you read the CSV, and whatever was read, you are converting that into a data table.
Yes, sir.
Correct? You understood what is done, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
Rest.
what would be the basic difference between a data frame and a table?
Okay, so our data frame how is consumed in the backend and how the data table consumed in the backend is different. For the data frame, it takes the entire data and then do the slicing and the operations. What
Mhm.
I mean by that is if we are converting a column, one column to a date format, what it would do, it will load entire data in the backend. Okay, then it would go to column and then it will convert it row by row. Okay, whereas in data table what it does is it has all the things mapped in the backend. So when we mention the column name, it would just read that column name to do the operation. So in that way it is very faster and it is efficient.
Okay. Are there any capability differences, meaning can we do all operations on a table that we could do on a data frame and vice versa, or are there
No,
restrictions, other
no, there are
restrictions?
no restrictions. There are no such
So
restrictions.
it's
We
only
just
the
need to, yeah,
performance and efficiency
yeah,
considerations that we're looking at.
yeah.
Okay.
We need to use those, specific formats. Let's say for now data.table, when we were using the formality of data.table to convert to date frame, we need the base data to be in table format, right? That way we need to look at, take care of that part. Otherwise, functionality wise, all we can do in both.
So in practice, should we be using tables preferably, or is there
Yes.
something else that plays in? Okay.
No. Tables is better. It is faster because in real life scenarios, the data sets are not this smaller, right? We are just dealing with 2,000 labels right now. Uh, Even if we are working on the servers, still the data frames are in lakhs and in sometimes in crores as well. So we need faster ways to work. So table is the better way.
Okay.
Okay, now, what was the question? That is not answered yet. What is the okay? Just tell me. Paste the frequency table of occupation column. Paste it in chat, and I want everyone pasting that. Great, great. So can you do it for other variables as well, or have you already done it? do it for all the categorical variables. If you have done that part, then just give me thumbs up. Riya, what is the mode for occupation? What is the value that is coming most frequently?
The business one, the most frequently. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Okay, what? Please complete all these, things. What I suggest, and Kedar, tell me if you differ. We'll take a break for 10 minutes. We can come back at 11. Sharp 11, and we'll start with some other exercises with the previous data, loan data that we were doing. So I'll share my screen. We'll do some analysis and EDA part. Okay, Kedar, break your diameter.
Yes, we can take a 10-minute break. We'll meet at 11,
2
11, 11 to, yeah.
ठीक है, okay, चलो,
Okay.